Hey, you're watching Steph with Steph on the Pedal. I am getting ready to go do a little bit of Instacart shopping. If you haven't seen my previous Instacart videos, I will link those down below. So I am still very new with Instacart. I am actually only 6 batches in. So I feel like I have a lot of learning to do still, but I'm gonna pause really fast and let you know that if you plan to sign up for Instacart, make sure you use my code below, and then also check the first comment on this video for instructions after you use my code. You're gonna wanna do that, trust me. Anyways, so I am averaging, I think like $15, $16 an hour with Instacart right now, and honestly, I would like to make more than that. So what I'm thinking today is I'm gonna try to teach myself some strategy, hopefully, and maybe learn a little bit about the market. Because, I mean, if you've driven with Uber and Lyft, you probably know that it's good to know your market and kind of figure out the places you like to try to drive and that kind of thing. So I'm sure it's the same with Instacart. I actually did have a friend that's doing it tell me there are certain areas that are better to drive than others. Some areas you'll see higher tips and, you know, maybe bigger payouts. So I haven't actually talked to her in extent yet, so I'm still going to try to figure this out on my own. What I'm thinking first is that I am going to head to kind of a nicer suburb where I think they might have larger orders, which is something that I'd like to try to aim for today, is a larger order, and I also think they may tip better as well. Okay, so I went ahead and drove to kind of like a middle or maybe an upper middle class area. I have a couple thoughts about strategy as far as Instacart goes, and I guess we'll see if I'm right or not. So these are just guesses, basically. So what I'm thinking is that from my experience in the past as a bartender and someone who earned a living off tips, is that the people that tip the worst are rich people. And my thoughts on that are that they probably have never worked a job like that in their life, and they can't fathom what it would be like to work that type of job. So they typically don't tip as well as like your blue collar type people. Now, if you get into people who are lower middle class, or, you know, maybe not even in the middle class realm, they might not be able to afford to actually tip you. So I feel like a good area would be like middle class to upper middle class. Upper middle class, maybe they've had to work hard to get where they are. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. I don't know, I could be totally off base as far as that goes, but I also feel like they can afford to do larger grocery trips, which I'm thinking will end up paying more. I am actually pretty excited about going to do this today, which is weird. It does stress me out a little, I'm not gonna lie. The grocery shelves, or the grocery stores, have been pretty bare for the most part, but one thing that I like about this over driving for Uber and Lyft, well, there's a few different things, but the main thing is the fact that I'm not sitting in a car all day long. So the majority of my life, I've done some sort of kind of active job, and that's what I like about this, is like I'm moving around, I'm squatting, I'm bending, I'm picking stuff up, and just being out and about in that way is nice to me. Also, I've spent so much less money in gas. So if you're looking at your hourly rate and with Instacart and thinking, okay, I'm not making as much money as I was with Uber and Lyft, if you did drive Uber or Lyft at some point, but really take into consideration the amount of money that you're actually saving on gas, because that could really bump up your hourly rate more than you think. But I'll get back with you in a minute and let you know if I end up finding a good order to take. Okay. I actually went ahead and accepted an order. I think it was around $18. It's for 31 items and 52 units. I think there was like an $8 tip in there. I was trying to hold out for something better, but honestly, I just really want to get started. And this is for the grocery store that I'm currently sitting parked in front of. So it just makes sense to me that I'm going to go ahead and accept it, and I will update you in a bit. So I just finished up with my first order, and that one was a little scary because I could not get a hold of the customer. So I have kind of like a template text that I send out at the very beginning saying, you know, make sure you keep an eye on the app because I'll be making replacements and refunding items. So she didn't respond to that. I tried to text her one more time and say, hey, I just want to make sure you're seeing these replacements. I decided it would be a good idea to go ahead and call her because I ran into this issue with like my second order ever where I texted her and evidently she had no way of getting a hold of me. For whatever reason, the app was glitching or something and she just couldn't get through to me. So I figured I wanted to make sure that, you know, she wasn't needing to get a hold of me. So I did go ahead and try to call her and she didn't answer. Well, whatever. I just finished the order, which it's kind of nice not having someone looking through the app because I got through it really pretty quickly, at least what I felt like was quick. So that was great. I ran into some trouble finding her house, which I was very worried about because I had no idea what I was going to do if I wasn't going to be able to find her house or get a hold of her. So Google Maps routed me to an area that had every address before and after hers, but not her address. So what I ended up doing was, well, I tried to call her again. I left her a voicemail, and then I finally just opened up Apple Maps and then plugged her address into that, and it gave me different directions. So I was able to find her, and she came out and said that she was actually on a work call and she apologized. So yeah, so that went pretty well. I guess maybe that's a good tip for you in the future if you can't find someone's house to just open up a different map or GPS, whatever. Okay. I am definitely going to do some more batches. I actually haven't taken any batches that have more than one order in them. I'm not sure if that's a good idea to do those or not. I probably am going to hold off as long as possible on taking one of those because for whatever reason, I don't like the idea of trying to take those orders. I don't understand how I'm supposed to separate them and all that other good stuff. But so my first order took me about an hour. It's 2 o'clock now. I started around 1. So about $18 for that hour as long as I end up getting the tip that came along with that. I'm currently driving to the grocery store. I just picked up another order. It was a very high tip, so I feel like I may be taking a bit of a gamble. It was only an $8 Instacart payment, so there were 20 units in the order, but the tip was, I want to say like $15. So I feel like this is exactly the type of order that I would like to be taking, but we shall see. I just completed my second batch. I think that took me about an hour. It's currently 3:10. I don't remember what time I said I took the first one. I'm pretty sure it was an hour. This lady was incredibly nice, so I'm fairly certain that I'll end up getting the tip on that one. And everything's going pretty smoothly so far. I definitely think that I'm getting the hang of it and I'm shopping faster. So I would expect that my hourly rate is just going to go up the more that I do this and get the hang of it. I think, you know, the faster you are, the more money you're going to make. And I mean, it just logically makes sense that the more you do it, the faster you're going to get. So I'm definitely going to keep going and take another order. There aren't currently any batches right now, but I mean, it's been so consistent. I'm sure within 5 minutes I'll have a batch that I can take. Just accepted an order with a $12 peak boost on it. If you don't know what that is, that's a lot like Surge if you've ever driven Uber before. So if an order sits too long, at least I believe this is how it works. If an order sits too long and nobody picks it up, then they add on like bonus, the peak boost. So $12 is pretty great as far as I'm concerned. There was also a tip on it. I can't remember how much the tip was. I want to say it was like $8, but altogether it was like a $30 order. I can't remember how many units. I want to say around 20, 25. All right, I just had a new thing happen. So this bigger order that I took that had a $12 boost on it, I got in, I sent her my standard text to let her know to look on the app for changes and replacements. She didn't respond, so I did a little bit of shopping, and then I tried to text again and asked her to confirm that she was seeing the changes that I was making through the app. Still didn't respond, so then I finally gave her a call, and I had probably picked up like 10 different items in the cart before I called her. And when I called her, she said she had canceled the order. She had placed the order 5 days ago, and she ended up canceling because it was gonna take too long. Well, obviously she didn't cancel, right? Because I ended up with the order. What I ended up doing was I refunded every item in the app. The only problem is you can't refund the very last item in the app. The only reason why I didn't call support is because I've heard that their call wait times are absolutely outrageous at the moment. So what I did, like I said, I refunded everything in the app. The last time you can't refund, so I had to push it all the way through to checkout just so I could close out the order and be able to accept new orders. Realized that I probably should have done was try to schedule a call with support while I was still inside of that order. I currently am trying to figure out how to schedule a call with support. I think I might need to be actively in order to do that. So as soon as I take my next order, I am going to head and call them. But from what I've heard, I think that they just they go ahead and pay you for that order. So I did have to shop some of the items back, which wasn't the end of the world. I think all in all, it took me maybe 20 minutes from start to finish on that. And if I end up making I think it's gonna be like $25 or so if they end up paying me for that order. So that feels totally worth it to me. I'll take that any day. But I may not show you the play-by-play of every order from here on out unless I have something significant happen. I may just kind of sync back up at the end and give you a rundown of what happened today, or else this video is probably gonna be 3 hours long. Okay, I'll let you know what ends up happening with that call if I'm able to schedule that tonight. This is a total shit show. So I think Instacart support is totally down. I'm not entirely certain, but I went and asked a Facebook group because you're supposed to be able to click on this little help button at the top of the screen, and then you should see a person with a headset icon that you can click on, and after you click on that, you're supposed to be able to either do a chat or schedule a call or just call them directly. Well, I was told to go ahead and schedule a call because their wait times are insane, and that's really the only way to get through to them. But I don't even have the option of clicking on the little headset icon. So so far what I'm seeing is that I got paid the full amount for that order that I had to cancel. I don't know if the customer got refunded for it, and it looks like I also got the peak boost, and so far the tip is still on there. So that's a whole $30 that maybe I've made for 20 minutes worth of work. We'll see if how that ends up working. And then also my last order was not responsive at all. I went ahead, I did the entire order. She didn't, I tried calling her multiple times. I tried messaging her, nothing, no response. So I ended up pushing through her entire order. She had a $25 tip on there, so I'll be really curious to see if I end up getting that. If not, the Instacart payment was only $10 on that. And yeah, that took me like an hour and 20 minutes to complete. So I don't really know. I mean, there's nothing more that I can do. I left the order on her doorstep, which is what she had said that she wanted, but rang the doorbell, no answer. Okay, doing the best I can. Doing the best I can. Quick update, I was actually able to find the support little guy with a headset button, but I had to dig through the app to find it. It was under connectivity and troubleshooting in the app. I click on the guy with the headset and it says, yes. Looks like there was an error during your request. Please try again. So guess I'm on my own. Okay. All right, so I just pulled up to my house. I am finished for the day. I stopped right around 7 hours. I went ahead and did a grocery shopping trip for myself. So I'm not actually counting that in, but yes, all in all, I worked 7 hours today and I'm pretty happy. So I'm thinking that my strategy maybe worked, or I'm getting faster, or maybe a combination of both. So I did a total of $132.93 for today. I also had a $10 tip. So all in all, that's like $142, and I believe that's around $20 an hour, which is a significant improvement. I have worked 3 days now and I've just used a half tank of gas. So I'm really happy about that. I actually tracked my miles today. I reset my odometer, and if it means anything to you, I drove a total of 47 miles. Some of that was my own grocery shopping, which I guess doesn't account for a ton of it. I did drive a little bit further away from my house than I have the other days that I've shopped, but I'm pretty happy, and if this is the way it's going to continue to go, I am all for it. I still was not able to contact customer service. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through to customer service, so that's pretty frustrating. But what I would suggest if I were you, you should join a local Instacart group, because they've been a lot of help to me, especially being new and not knowing what the heck I'm doing. Yeah, you kind of need that. And you know, if you have questions for me, I'll do my best to answer them. Just leave them in the comment section below. But if you're going to sign up for Instacart, make sure you check the comment section of this video, because I'm actually going to leave some information there for you, and it's really important. Trust me, you want to do what I'm going to tell you to do in these comments. But thanks so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe, hit that bell notification icon so you see my next upload. And yeah, give me a thumbs up. I'll see you soon, guys. Thanks. Bye.